drop every taste on the tip of my tongue. Bend my nail, bite my thumb. Evidence won't clear my name. Baby, in your presence will be so forever. Into the moment when I press my eyes shut. Now I'm ready. I'll do anything. I'm not asking to save mine through the perfect strings. 10,000 days on the days to clear our names. Oh, baby, it's our last kiss. We'll last forever. That's the moment when I rest my eyes shut. Now I'm praying. Yeah, the only answer's what we've always wanted. Ooh, and we hold it till there's nothing else can let us down. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Oh, 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 oh. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Yeah, when we hold it till there's nothing else can let us down. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Oh, oh, oh.
Ejectum is over! Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies! Here come the Buffalo Sabres!
Welcome, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier American and tap room, open 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and later. Live music, entertainment, and trivia at all 8 locations with over 300 beers to choose from. And, of course, they are one of Western New York's only kid and dog-friendly bars. Buffalo Go Apparel. Also want to recognize them. One of the best spots to get all of your Buffalo sports apparel needs, whether it's your shirts, your hats, your hoodies. I happen to be wearing 2 of the newest additions to Buffalo Go. Both my own design, the Goat hoodie shirt. You guys have all seen it in the past. Well, Buffalo Go will now be carrying that exclusively on their website. You can find it at Buffalo Go Co. on Instagram and Twitter, or at buffalogo.com. And, of course, this beautiful Hashik goated Letterman cap. I mean, it doesn't even do it justice. One of the best embroidered hats I've ever seen in my life. The way you see the 39 on the back of the old goat head jerseys with the silver, the white, the red, it's perfect. And of course, you got the Hatchet helmet on the side. Can't go wrong with that hat. Make sure you go keep an eye out for that. They'll be dropping next week. Find them at buffalogo.com, at Buffalo Co. on Instagram and Twitter, at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter, or fattybeer.com. Make sure you let them 2 goalies when Mike sent you. Sabres. No wooing tonight even though it is the Sting's final match later tonight at AEW. No wooing tonight. They crashed and burned tonight in the third period with a 2-1 lead. Give that up. Ties up 2-2. And then, they come back and take their first lead of the game on a shot I think UPL probably wanted back from Barron off the rush. I think it was Barron off the rush. I think UPL definitely wanted that one back. And when's the last time we could say that about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, man? He has been absolutely one of the most consistent goalies we've seen in almost a decade in net for Buffalo. So you can't really blame him. And then Connor with a 2-on-1 break right after that goal. UPL robs him blind. So, I've already seen it on Twitter. A couple of people want to blame coaching for starting UPL, not Comrie. UPL. No. You were starting UPL. You were never starting Comrie in this game. There was no chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. You need every single point you can get. You were starting UPL. And I'm not even sure if you're going to try and chalk this up to fatigue. I mean, it's going to happen every once in a while. It's unfortunate it happened in that moment, but he followed up with a lot of big saves after that. It's not like his workload last night was as like what it was tonight, where he was like dog tired after last night's game. I know it's a back-to-back, and that's tough for any goalie. But at the end of the day, like, I thought he was great tonight. He made some fantastic saves. He made a couple saves he probably shouldn't have made. And then, of course, again, he let that third one in. But Sabres got to respond. They have to respond. Your top six did nothing for you tonight. It was your bottom six, and that's kind of been the story of this season is inconsistency for your top six. This is a game where, again, you probably wanted your Dylan Cousins or your Tage Thompson, your Jeff Skinner, your Alex Tuck to come up with a big goal for you. You're paying these guys good money to be those players in those positions, and they're not. Or even Casey Middlestat. We'll talk about Casey Middlestat too. Middlestat wants a big contract in games like tonight. In moments like tonight is where you want him to show you he's that guy, and nothing. So, I don't know, man. It bugs me that this kind of run is happening this late in the season. I know they lost tonight, but they're gonna put themselves. I'm not advocating losing for draft position, but I manifested it a week ago when I tweeted it as like, this team is gonna go on a late season run here in March and end of February, March, and they're going to want to run, and they're going to miss the playoffs by like 2 or 3 points. You're not going to trade some of the players you should be trading right now for either assets or packages for players to help you now, and you're going to be scratching your head in the season and wondering, well, what the fuck, same old Sabres. I don't know. I'm fed up with it, man. That sucked. And this team has more regulation wins than a lot of teams in front of them. And I'm gonna pull it up right now, actually. The standings in our conference and in the East. We have more regulation wins than a lot of teams in front of us. Yet, because of this team's inability to get games into overtime, they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm not guaranteeing if they would have been better at that, they still would have made the playoffs. You're still 10 points back. But if you could have gotten, 10 loser points this season, just 10 more or 10 total, guess what? You're a lot closer to that wild card spot. Yeah, so Sabres only have 4 overtime losses, so only 4 loser points. Yeah, it bugs me. It really, really does bug me. There's a lot of teams that are in front of you right now where you do have more regulation wins than, and that could be one of the deciding factors in you not making the playoffs. And yes, the biggest issues on this team aren't just that. They're tied into that. It's the lack of top 6 scoring. A lot of the season when you were getting a top 6 scoring, the lack of depth scoring. And the different parts of the season, it was you're just atrocious in your own end defensively. leaving your goalies out to dry the first 3 months of the season. And now it's like, okay, you're getting the bottom 6 scoring consistently, but where's the top 6 scoring? It drives me nuts. It drives me fucking nuts. And I think some scores went Buffalo's way tonight. I know. Let me pull those up too. Some scores did go the Buffalo Sabres way tonight. I think Washington lost today. Let's see who else lost. Scores in tonight's game. Penguins lost. Let's see here. Penguins lost. Devils lost. Capitals lost. So pretty much every team that you need to lose today, lose. You just couldn't even get a loser point out of tonight. That's just infuriating. Absolutely infuriating, to say the least. When a night goes the way it did for you tonight, in terms of teams in front of you. And currently, the Oilers are beating the Penguins 2-0. So there's that. Yeah. It sucks. Because just get this game in the garage. I know it's a back-to-back. The fatigue sets in. But you know what? Winnipeg was on a back-to-back tonight, too. They played last night at 2, and they outshot you a lot to a little. And UPL just held you in it, man. He gave you a chance to win. You got to be – your top 6 have to compete like top 6 players. You can't be losing games to win it. You can't be going from beating – the Vegas Golden Knights last night, and then I forget who it was you beat, or the Tampa Bay Lightning 2 nights before that, and then you come into Winnipeg again, another must-win situation, and you pissed on your leg in the third period. That's what you did. You absolutely pissed on your leg. Yeah, the Sabres were outshot 33-19. I mean, that's inexcusable. That's inexcusable. You can't get outshot that bad when your season's on the line. You just can't. You got to get pucks on that. First period, they were definitely outplayed. They were allowing Winnipeg to enter the zone really unopposed. They did it with ease. Winnipeg was really good off the rush tonight. Working the puck, getting control in the zone. Their passing was pretty much pinpoint. Whereas Buffalo, I mean, the first period, it was meh. It wasn't a terrible period, but Winnipeg was definitely the better team. You were definitely the better team in the second period. You were more physical. You cashed on your power play opportunity. The power play was in the first period, I believe. But anyways, like you outskated them. The one goal you did have from Robinson was off the forecheck where you just outworked them. And Krebs made a beautiful pass to Robinson for the goal. You were winning puck battles. Again, Dahlin was a wrecking ball out there. And before I finish, fuck Mark Scheifele, by the way. Fuck that guy. What a dirty chop on Dahlin. Like, I understand that he was throwing the body out there, but they were clean hits. And that was a joke. That was a fucking joke. And I know I tweeted it out heading into the third. I'm like, if we can get up by 2 or more goals here late in the period, somebody better go fucking make Scheifele answer for that. I know that you just can't go out there and go nuts like a bull in a china shop and, go hunt down Scheifele in that close of a game when every single point matters. And maybe if the season had gone a different way, maybe it would have been different. Maybe they would have responded immediately. But I would have loved to have, man, after they went down by 2, somebody just fucking go find Mark Scheifele and just bury his fucking face in the boards. Because that was fucking trash, man. Absolute fucking trash. Hacks Dahlin right above the ankle. The guy powered through. I'm not sure how many minutes he did play tonight, but it was a lot probably. He was out there in the last 2 minutes of the game. I actually like that move from Granato. He threw Dahlin and Power out there together. I liked that from him. Didn't have trouble getting the goalie out tonight. But unfortunately, you just didn't have good control when you did. Ends up with 2 goals in the empty net. It just drives me nuts. From Mike Harrington here, actually, I tweeted after the game how infuriating it is to have the amount of teams in front of you that you have more regulation wins than, and yet one of the determining factors of you missing the playoffs and the drought continuing is you just not compiling loser points. Winnipeg now leads NHL in regulation wins with 34. Sabres have 24. Astonishing to have same total as Toronto and Philly and be one up on Detroit. Also ahead of Washington with 22, Pittsburgh 22, and the Islanders 18. That is fucking insane. You have more regulation wins. You have the same amount of regulation wins as Toronto and Philly, and you're one up on Detroit. You have one more than Detroit, and you are ahead of Washington with 22, Pittsburgh 22, and the Islanders 18. These are all teams that are in front of you. They're in front of you in the standings. And because games like tonight, you can't get it into overtime. Fuck. Like, come on. You know, if it's not the first 3 months of the fucking defensive structure of this team being dog shit, it's your top 6 not scoring. If it's not your top 6 not scoring, it's your bottom 6 not scoring. And you know what? The one problem we haven't had this whole fucking season, the one thing people were all astonishingly worried about this season was the goaltending. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you know, on the show, we adamantly defended him for a long time and said he is a more than capable NHL goaltender. He proved it this season. And say what you want about Devin Levi, he has a winning record, and people might have expected a little bit more of him, but he was put in a really fucking tough spot for a 21-year-old rookie goaltender on a dog shit defensive team the first half of the season, and now he's absolutely ripping it up in the AHL. His numbers are outstanding. He has an over 920 save percentage, a lower two goals against, absolutely ripping up. So goaltending has not been an issue this season, but it's just the inconsistency. You know, your top 6 guys shitting themselves. If it's not that, it's your bottom 6 doing virtually nothing to contribute to anything. If it's not that, it's your power play all season long. If it's not that, it's this. If it's not this, it's fucking infuriating that you have more regulation points than Detroit, Washington, Pittsburgh, and the Islanders, teams in front of you in that race for the wild card, and you're tied with Toronto and Philadelphia, both who are comfortably in the playoffs right now. For the time being, you have just as many regulation wins as them, but because you can't fucking figure out to get games into overtime, that is going to be a big reason why this drought will continue. Dude, it's so. Oh, wow. Wow. I don't even know. Like, that is insanity to me. Insane. And then I get it, man. Maybe you were a little tired tonight. I get it. That was an emotional win last night against Vegas. You know, it was a big win against Vegas. The defending Stanley Cup champion just swept them this season. You won both games. Eichel sit in the press box. See you later, you douchebag. But you come here, you play a so-so first period, you play a good second period, and you fucking piss down your leg in the third period. And I think Eric Robinson, and I'm going to pull up some of the quotes after the game from some of the players via Brian Koziel here. If you guys give me a moment, I'll pull them up. Brian Koziel with the post-game comments from interviews. Granado, we made too many mistakes. It cost us. We lost some battles you would have liked to have won. We needed to do one of two things. We needed to elevate our game. Our guys fought fatigue. Stop it with the fatigue, because they played last night too, and they had to travel here. We didn't drive it. We went home. They went home and they went to bed. And we need to find a way to fight through it. Granado says UPL has been great for them. I don't fault him for this one. You shouldn't. You should fault yourself for. Nah, never mind. UPL said it was great to have the confidence from the coaching staff to go in back-to-back games. He also said that he will take any start he can get, said last night They had a solid third period, so he was happy to get the start tonight. UP on the game-winning goal against. It was a good shot. I kind of had to challenge. It's really tough when he comes in with that speed at that angle. You should have had it. I mean, again, I'm not going to blame him for the game, but he should have had it. I mean, with the way he's been playing, he needs to have that. I mean, even if he wasn't playing that well, he should have that shot. That's just my opinion. Paterka says both teams were playing back-to-back, no excuse energy-wise. They were on the same level, but they gave up too many odd man rushes the other way. Yeah, that first period especially, I pointed it out in side note or game notes after the first period. Like, they were just entering our zone with ease, with no issue at all. Paterka says the power play had been clicking lately, trying to have fun, trying to make plays, says the passing, the great to set him up for the power play goal. Paterka, I think too many odd man rushes. We were in their zone, but we gave up too much in transition. Robinson says they were playing not to lose, trying to hold on to it. Can't do it against good teams. And how many times have we said that on this post-game show? This team, when they do have a lead sometimes they play not to lose. You can't play not to lose. You have to play to win. You play not to lose, that means you're not putting your foot on the gas, trying to go for the jugular. You're playing it safe, not taking chances. And I get it. I get it. Sometimes you don't want to take a chance against certain teams, but that's the difference between good and bad teams. Like, the willingness to take chances, even when you have a 1-goal lead. You know, that playing not to lose will get you nowhere in this league. It's a fact. Find me a single team that's won a Stanley Cup in this league that carry themselves in that way with a 1-goal lead in the third period, playing not to lose. It's not sustainable. It works once in a while, but it's just not a sustainable strategy. Robinson on possible fatigue. It's not an excuse. I feel like we didn't get up to the pace that we needed to dictate play. They played yesterday too, and it came back to Beisler. They played too, and not only that, I reiterate, they had to travel to us, and it's just no excuse. It is no excuse at all. And they played yesterday in Carolina. So they traveled here from Carolina. I don't know. They probably got in late. Didn't get a full. I mean, they got a full. I don't know. I don't want to hear about fatigue. Both you guys played back to backs, and one team got to home and got to go home and sleep in their own bed, and one team didn't. And the team that didn't got on a plane, flew here, and slept in a hotel room. That team came ready to play, not ready to play, but came ready to play a full 60. You did it. That's just plain and simple. So, you have Toronto coming up here. That's a game that, from a fan perspective, you want more than anything Wednesday at 7:00 in Toronto. We kind of had Toronto's number for the past couple of years, so I expect it to be a pretty competitive game. UPL and net probably, I would assume again. Yeah, he'll get his 20th start in the last 22 games, and I hope and pray that we get right back into it and win again. And I will not root for this team to lose. I don't care who's up for grabs at the top of the draft. I don't care. It's not a Connor Bedard. It's not a McDavid. It's not an Austin Matthews. Not one of those guys. So if it's not one of those guys, I really don't care. I want to look to next year. I hope the deadline, Adams isn't just making moves for assets, trying to bring in rostered players to this team that are going to help this team next year with term up in their contract. I'm looking at you, Calgary. I'm looking at you, Columbus. I'm looking at you, Anaheim. And I hope that he finds a way to make this team better, and in the now and in the future. So I don't know, man. It drives me nuts. We're going to hit the peanut gallery here. There's a lot of comments from you guys. Sabres lose once again, outclassed. Can't disagree with you, Mauricio. Jets got to Buffalo at 6 after playing in the afternoon. Okay, so they didn't get in super late, but still, they didn't get to sleep in their own beds. What do we think Robinson's ceiling is? A fourth line player. That's what he is. But he's a good fourth line player. He's been good for Buffalo. He adds some jam and some speed to that line. And I hate the fact that we're still putting Krebs down there. Power didn't skate to cut the angle off, so UPL would have had a better chance. That's not on him whatsoever. That's on Power. No, man, a shot that far out, you have to have it, Carl. I'm sorry, you have to. You have to have that shot from that far out. I'm a goalie. I would know. You have to make that save. I don't care if it's off the rush, it's covenant speed. You got to make that save. They just come back to tie the game. They got some momentum. You have to make that save from that far out. There's no excuse for that. I disagree 100%. Bruins and Isles both have 14 loser points, which is nuts. I'm done with meatballs. Gargalant. Levi was grinded into an injury to start the season with 4 games in 8 days by Granato. You also don't have a center that wins key faceoffs either. No, we don't. That is very true. Casey Middlestad is probably your best faceoff guy, and he's barely at 50%. Yeah, power play 2 got it done. Where was Tage? Tage, again, non-existent tonight. He had a couple nice moves, but, top 6 didn't exist tonight. That was a tough loss. Not UPL's best, but Sabres only scored 2 again. I don't know what you guys are. I thought UPL played great. I thought he played fine. And by no means was this on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Outplayed, outhit physically, causing turnovers, odd man rushes all night long. Poor puck management. Thompson, Tuck, Skinner played poorly. Outchanced, low scoring shooting chances. Just left arena. I was hoping for a better performance offensively, but UPL was your best player tonight. Don't blame him, but defensively, we just gave Winnipeg too many opportunities. I hate losing. Sabres gave up way too many odd man rushes. From Hudson Curtin, biggest thing tonight was lack of conditioning. Why do so many players disappear in the late third? Can't even blame Darlene. He has played 30 minutes in 7 games. Yeah, that's why I don't rush to judge him like there. He was double teamed in the corner. That guy plays over 30 minutes a night. Like, I'm not blaming him. I'm just not. That game should have been we should have been in that position to begin with. You had 19 shots on net. Still 10 points back of final wild card, 1 game in hand on Tampa, but Pittsburgh has 4 games in hand. Others have 2. And they all lost tonight. Those teams, and Pittsburgh is currently losing. So that's what sucks the most. Wow, that one makes you mad. It does. It does piss me off because you have games in hand on the team currently in that last wild card spot. And all of these teams that are in front of you, you have either just as many or more regulation wins. And it's games like tonight that you just can't fucking figure it out and get it to overtime. It's a big reason why you're not going to make the playoffs. And what ties into that is the fact that you don't have the consistent scoring from Alex Tuck, Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, Dylan Cousins. All these guys that you're paying good money to be those guys, they're not your guys this season. Team needs to get rid of Okposo. Skinner also looks helpless. No speed. Okposo can't shoot. From the shots on goal showing 6 across the board to a scorpion and a mug in the Sabres store, this team went from puck luck to bad luck. The Sabres tonight were cursed. I don't know about the shots on goal showing 666. Not sure what that's all about, but I did see the picture. There was a dead scorpion in somebody's mug today at the Sabres store. That was wild, assuming that probably happened during shipping. What a disaster. They all ran out of gas. No excuse. Top line was crap. They were absolute garbage tonight. All night long, puck watching, odd man rushes being outplayed, outhit. From Rikini, yeah, we're all shaking our heads. Just when you think the Sabres have turned a corner, they lose a lead and game. Top line was crap. Yeah. Casey just plays too tentative for me. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about trading Casey, and I'm not advocating trading Casey. I hope they bring him back at the right price, but he was non-existent tonight too, guys. He didn't exist out there. Like, he wants an extension. He wants a long-term extension. Well, guess what, Casey? You got to show up in games like this. You got to. You just have to. You got to be a more consistent goal scorer. I love Casey Middlestat. I love how he's turned a corner and he's, finally, found his own identity on this team. But that identity also has to be consistently contributing in must-win situations. And he's not the only one to blame, but he's also not under looking for an extension. The other guys all already have their money. He made phenomenal saves besides the ones that beat him. I mean, that first goal, everybody was puck watching Morrissey. They all expected a shot. All 5 players on the ice, all staring at Morrissey in that puck. Nobody saw Nino Niederreiter just chilling there on the back door, left all alone. That's not on UPL. I mean, what do you want him to do there? In terms of the second goal, I've been there. The puck hit him in the chest, and it just found a pocket that makes any sense. It hits you in the chest, and it just moves on it literally just moves on its own and falls down, and it probably hit the side of his pants and fell in the back of the net. Like, it happens. It does. It does. And that third goal is the one of the 3 that I am going to put on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, but he literally followed up with an incredible fucking 2-on-1 save on Connor and bailed him out. Would you guys have felt better if he let that goal in rather than the one from Barron that he should have saved? I mean, I don't know, man. Listen, I for me, he played good enough for you to win. 19 shots on goal isn't going to get it done. No way. Never going to happen. We scored 2 goals, still not enough. Tage and Mint's lines were shit. Absolutely. Scoring 2 goals is not usually going to win. You are correct. How do you just collapse like that? Not enough leadership. Just not playing with any desperation, not playing with urgency. I don't know, man. That was bad. And when we say collapse, I mean, it's not like they were matching what Winnipeg was doing shot for shot. They had a so-and-so first period. They had a really good second period, and they had a dog shit third period. So the reality of it is they probably only played 30 total minutes tonight, if that. And that's not going to get it done in the NHL to win games. It's just not. Not against a team like Winnipeg, who is playing very well this season. And they didn't even start their starter, man. They started Laurent Brossoit. Tonight was a good time for Donnie to reunite original lines and move up Krebs. Finally, a line mate finished. Agreed. That was a beautiful pass from Krebs. It was nice to see some creativity with the first power play when JJ scored. Yeah, that was really nice. Hopefully it helps increase that draft stock for Kyle Okposo, deadline stock for Kyle Okposo. Tonight was the night for fresh legs, so Victor should have played. Another miss by Granato. You really can't wait for him to get fired, honestly. I really can't wait for him to get fired. It's going to happen, so let's just get it over with. I don't know if it's going to happen, Gar. I really don't know. His extension hasn't kicked in yet, and I don't think Terry wants to coach another guy to not he doesn't want to pay another guy to not coach for him. And just my thoughts. More from you guys. Lots of comments here. Duane, I agree. Being fatigue is not an excuse. I thought they played well up until the third period. Yeah, I said they won the second period. They didn't win the first period, but it's not like they played like dog shit. They came out only tied up 1-1. Giving up a late goal in the first period with 5.5 seconds left. Usually that means, you're going to lose some momentum there, but Buffalo didn't. That's the response I wanted to see. The second period, you took the physical play to them. Dahlin was a wrecking ball. You're getting shots on net, bodies in net. You were forechecking, winning puck battles. It was a great response after giving up a late goal to tie the game in the first. You had a lead go into the third. They were 19-0-1 this season going into the third period with a lead. And that undefeated in regulation streak is now officially over. There was another stat from that Mike Harrington posted. I'm going to pull it up right here in just a moment. It was pretty eye-opening. Let me see here. In terms of the last 2 seasons, when they go into the third with a lead. let's see here. Let me see. The Sabres had been 46-0-5 the last 2 seasons when leading after 2. Gonna take some research to find out the regulation loss went ahead. Well, the last regulation loss went ahead after 40 minutes. And that he did find that. Let me see here. It from Sabres PR, last regulation loss when leading after 2 was April 7th, 2022 at Carolina. They were winning 3-2 after 40 minutes and then lost 5-3. Since then, the Sabres were 51-0-5 when leading after 2, only until falling to the Winnipeg Jets tonight. That's insanity. I guess you're going to have a hiccup at some point, you know what I mean? With that long of time, almost a full year. Actually, 2 full years, sorry. Almost 2 full calendar years in between the last time you had a regulation loss when leading going into the third period, which is impressive. It's just impressive. But it's just a shame that it happened now when you can't afford for it to happen now. You got to get to overtime. Let me see. The first empty net goal that they scored, we had the puck in the corner, and there was no support for the puck handler, and that's why they got the puck out. Yeah, I mean, Dahlin was double teamed there. And yeah, I remember, man, he's been playing almost 30 or more minutes a night for how long now? He set like a franchise record. Might have been like an NHL record for all I know. But and he got that brutal hack from Mark Scheifele in the foot that he was clearly in pain with right before the second period ended. So I mean, I'm not. There's no guaranteeing you're going to tie the game after that. It would have been nice to get that puck up the ice, but I'm not gonna, nail Dahlin to the cross for that. He had no support, like Carl said. From Hudson, thoughts on the what if we won the McDavid lottery? Where do you see this team now with him? I tweeted that out a couple weeks ago. What would you have rather had? Would you have rather the Sabres back in 2007, was it 2007? If they would have extended Briere and Drury, or would you have rather won the McDavid lottery and drafted Connor McDavid? I'm on the side of drafting Connor McDavid because I think that you look at their careers after they left Buffalo. Drury didn't really do anything special in New York at all. Briere was good for Philly, but there's still no guaranteeing that those guys were going to get you over the hump. Because if people that do remember that season, 06-07, the Sabres, we were scared of Ottawa. They were the better team. We got boat raced in 5 games, man. They smacked us around. So there's no guaranteeing you were going to get back to the form that you were in 05-06 because you miss guys like, JP Dumont and, that really provided you with a lot of depth on that team. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. I much would have rather had McDavid a full 10 plus years with Connor McDavid because that guy is incredible. He averages over 100 points a season. We haven't had a 100-point player probably since the years of LaFontaine and Mogilny. So yeah, it's a McDavid 1,000 times over. I don't care about how much not signing those guys set this franchise back. Being able to draft a guy like Connor McDavid, who's electric as he is, not just because of his ability on his own, but what he attracts. Players would come to Buffalo to play with Connor McDavid. Absolutely. Taylor Hall came here to play with Jack Eichel because he saw how much Jeff Skinner got paid from one season playing with Jack Eichel. So I don't want to spend too much time on the comments on that thought. I also think it's funny Sabres take on players. I also think it's funny Sabres takes on players are so back and forth every game because they're inconsistent. From Dan Anderson, just like the Bills, Sabres play not to lose and always backfires. Yes, we've been saying this for a while. Big focus. Do you expect this team to look vastly different by Friday? I expect there to be some faces that have been here for a long time to no longer be here. Adams told Matt Fairburn Granato will be coach next year. Yeah, he's going to be. He's not. His extension hasn't kicked in yet, people. as much as you dislike Kevin or dislike Don Granato, they jumped the gun on extending him long term, and it's bitten him in the ass so far. At least, again, I'm still willing to hold out hope that Don Granato figures it out, but I think it's going to start with hiring a new staff. That's where I think it's going to need to start. You got to get rid of Wilford and Matt Ellis and those guys and Christie. Get rid of them and bring in a real staff. I expect little or nothing change in the team Friday except Eric Johnson gone. Yeah, we got Zubras at deadline to replace Dumont, and that was just garbage. Yeah, I remember I didn't mind Dana Zubras, but he just didn't gel with this team, unfortunately. Matt Ellis coached 13U before us. Buddy, it's like you've been listening to this show for a long time. Oh, we trust me. We know all about Matt Ellis's coaching resume before he got an NHL coaching job. It's gross, and not gross in a good way. It's grossly he's grossly unqualified to be coaching in the NHL. Put it lightly. Yeah, but unfortunately, again, Sabres lose 5-2. Pissed on their legs in the third period. And again, you could point to certain players, namely your top six, not showing up for pretty much at all tonight. A couple defensive breakdowns in the first and second period. The first goal specifically, sure. I thought defensively they did play good enough to win, but offensively is a different story. And listen, UPL is going to have a chink in the armor here and there, but he more than made up for it after that goal went in with a couple huge saves. Even before then, with plenty of huge saves. Sometimes you got to support your goaltender. They didn't tonight. They did not give him any support. If they get into next season, this team is 12-15-3. Is Granato fired? He should be. Who would you want at the deadline? I think they should target Calgary. Guys like Blake Coleman, Rasmus Anderson, Noah Hannafin, Nazem Kadri. I would love players like that. Boone Jenner from Columbus would be awesome. That defenseman Juracek that can't seem to get in the lineup in Columbus is a former first-round pick. Absolutely would love him because I think he would thrive on our blue line with some of the talent that we have. Just give him a chance. Yeah, there's definitely some players out there. I have my list. We're going to have a trade deadline show. I'm hoping that, I'll just say right now, Andrew Peters, friend of the program, I believe is going to be coming on with us either Thursday or Friday to talk trade deadline. So that should be fun. Also some other guests, Ryan Drury, not to be confused with his cousin Chris Drury. Ryan Drury, the voice of the Guelph Storm in the OHL. He'll be coming on with us to talk, about, rumors, deals to come, and his Caps. He's a big Caps fan, so we'll have him on like we did last year, and some other guests as well. So I'm looking forward to the deadline. Unfortunately, not for the reasons we all want to be looking forward to the deadline. Love everyone else, but Hannafin won't come here. We're on his no trade list. I have no idea who's on his no trade list. I didn't know that was made public. So that being said, guys, I'm going to call it a night here. We've been almost 45 minutes with you lunatics. I appreciate you guys always coming on with me, and I want you guys to all remember this has been brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with 8 different Western New York locations and over 300 beers to choose from. Make sure you choose Fatty Beer. Tell them the boys from Two Goalies One Mike sent you. And Buffalo Logo Apparel, one of the greatest places to get all of your Buffalo sports apparel needs, whether it's your shirts or your hoodies. This will be available on their website next week. The GOAT hoodie and shirt, or this beautiful, beautiful hat right here, the 39 GOATed ball snapback. It's like I said, it doesn't do it justice, man. Just the embroidering on this is beautiful. It's worth every penny. Just keep an eye out at Buffalo Logo Co. on Instagram and Twitter, at buffalogo.com online. Access their website, at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter, fattybeer.com. Make sure you go check them out. Tell them the boys from Two Goalies One Mike sent you. Duane, thanks for being classy. Hudson, thank you for being here. And thank you for being classy. And you all stay classy, Buffalo. We will talk to you guys hopefully before Wednesday. Maybe we'll rip an episode before then of Two Goalies, One Mic. Make sure you subscribe to us. Please, anybody in here who hasn't subscribed yet, if you have Apple Podcasts, if you have Spotify, on YouTube, please search Two Goalies, One Mic on those platforms. Please, please, please. Number 2 goalies, number 1 Mike, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. Really appreciate the support. Go find us. We've had such a good catalog of guests we've had on the past. From, as I said, Andrew Peters. We've had on Devin Levi, Owen Power, Clint Malarchuk multiple times. Olaf Kolzig, one of my favorite goalies back from the heydays. We've had such a good list of guests, both former players, analysts. Go check it out. Please make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. It would mean the world to me. And I will talk to you guys hopefully before Wednesday, but if not, Wednesday night after the Sabres take on the hated Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, and hit the like, Kevin. We will talk to you guys later. You have a fantastic night. Hope you had a good weekend. And as always, go Sabres.